Catch all the exciting highlights this season on the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show.
0 1-on-1 with Hagia, with 7, with 6, with 5, step back for 3. Kira knocks it down!
The Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. Don't miss a minute of the exciting hoop action. Welcome to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show with head coach Connie Yori. And now, here's your host, Jeff Griesch.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. The Huskers enjoyed a history-making holiday break with wins over North Carolina State, Florida, and Texas, all on the road. The Huskers stretched their school record road winning streak to 8 games while improving to 13-2 on the season and 1-0 in the Big 12. And, Coach, the Huskers have been rolling. They're playing with poise, and they're playing with confidence. Great win at Texas on Wednesday night. Well,
3 great wins, as you mentioned, important to our program in many ways. Obviously, the Texas win is a win that hasn't happened in this program ever. And so that in itself is a great win. We got off to a great start in the Big 12, Jeff, in a 1-0 start by getting that Texas win. But also, you know, in backtracking the NC State game, an ACC team, a team that the top 3 teams in the ACC are number 1, 2, and 3 in the country. And North Carolina State was picked 4th in that league. And then the Florida win also in a road game is also a great win.
All right, so let's head to Florida. Gainesville, Florida at the State Farm Classic against perennial national power NC State to open. The 2 teams entered the tournament with identical 10-2 records, and it looked like they were identical for about the first 22 minutes of this game, and then Nebraska kind of took over in the second half. But a really entertaining first half, kind of marred by foul trouble on NC State that they were able to overcome, but Nebraska got out and got to lead. Really a team effort.
Well, we scored a lot of points in the first half and probably gave up a few too many. It was 46-39 at halftime, but we did a lot of really good things on offense. I thought our ball movement was outstanding in the tournament in both games. There's an example of Jelena punching, kicking to Chelsea, and Chelsea had been shooting the ball so well, hit a 3 there, and TK getting a drive off a dribble penetration, and we attacked their inside game. I really liked what we did there. There's an example of Danielle getting an inside touch. You know, Kelsey Griffin had a very good game. She had 18 points, scored on the low block against NC State, went into halftime with a 7-point lead. Early in the second half, NC State cut the lead. Actually, it went back to even, and then we went on a huge run. And I think you'll see some of the things that happen here. Here's Jelena hitting a 3. Chelsea hit 3 threes in the second half. You know, and we moved the ball again exceptionally well. Then Kira did her thing. You know, dribble penetration there. We got great ball movement. There's an example in transition of hitting Chelsea right off the secondary break. And again, Chelsea has shot the ball exceptionally well in the latter part of in our most recent games, and she was 4 for 5 from the 3-point line in this game. There's another example of a punch and kick. Ashley Ford got into the act.
Yeah, and those threes by Chelsea Aubry, the 3 threes that Coach Yori talked about in the second half, all came in consecutive possessions for Nebraska to turn an 11-point game or a 10-point game into a 19-point game during a 20-1 Nebraska run after NC State tied the score at 46. And from that point on, NC State was never back in it. They got it down to 16, but then the lead got to 27. The Huskers just ran over the Wolfpack. As you can see, 94-74 was your final. Kelsey Griffin, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Kira Hardy, 16 points. Chelsea Aubry, 16 points. Danielle Page and TK LaFleur also had nice games for the Huskers in the win over the Wolfpack. All right, when we come back, we'll head back to the Sunshine State for the tournament title game with Florida. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. After running to an impressive 94-74 win over NC State in the State Farm Classic opener, the Huskers battled the hosts from Florida the next night in the title game. And history certainly on the side of the Gators, winning their own tournament 13 times with only 2 losses in 16 seasons. Coach, you know you were going to have your hands full. Florida in the NCAA tournament in 2006, but your team came out, they met the challenge, and they really played a solid game for 40 minutes against Florida.
We did in a lot of ways. You know, a little concerned about our defense right now, and but again, you know, we put up some big numbers on offense again, and got contributions again out of a lot of people. Obviously, Kira had a big game with 29 points, but you know, Kelsey Griffin had 15 points, 13 rebounds, and Danielle Page had her career high with 15 points. So we're finding ways to score, and it may be coming from Chelsea, it may be coming from you know, it seems to always come from Kelsey and Kira, but you know, getting other people in the act. One game it's TK, and then it's Danielle. So right now we're doing a good job of scoring the ball.
All right, let's head back to Gainesville, where the Huskers were searching for their first road tournament title since 1996. Challenging, definitely, and winning at Florida, but Kira Hardy and Kelsey Griffin just made a great inside-out combination. And Danielle Page, as you mentioned, and TK LaFleur also got into the act for the Huskers.
Well, and TK had a good game. TK's playing really well for us. She is. It's important that we get contributions from other guards. And, you know, Kira has been really consistent here really throughout the year in terms of what she's shooting from the field and her contributions in the area passing. There's an example. But we need to get consistent contributions out of other guards in our program, and TK has really picked it up here recently. But again, Danielle looked very confident in this game, and example of her hitting a perimeter shot. You know, she shoots the ball very, very well. And there's somebody that I know. That's actually my son playing the trumpet.
Playing the upside-down trumpet in the stands at halftime.
We went inside to Kelsey, and Kelsey did a good job of delivering for us again. I do think in this game we were a little bit tired. You know, we played a very emotional game against NC State, played very hard to get that win. Florida played Alabama State and won by 60 the night before in the tournament format. Now, we had the tougher game, and I thought we were the more tired team. Didn't do as good a job defensively as we want. I think fatigue did factor into this game, but thankfully we were tough enough to win this game, and it would have been an easy one to let slip away, but we had some great mental toughness down the stretch.
Kira Hardy went off in this game, 29 points. She hit 4 3-pointers. Maybe not Kira's best shooting night from long range, but certainly did the job from 15 feet in, 17 feet in. As Nebraska, you see, captures the tournament title at the State Farm Classic in Gainesville with an 81-73 win over Florida. Kira Hardy, 29 points, and she was the all-tournament MVP. Kelsey Griffin also earned a spot on the all-tournament team. Shea Brooks led Florida with 24 points, and Florida kind of surged a little bit down the stretch, but Nebraska closed the door. And Florida got within 1 point. Nebraska shut it down. They won going away at the very end. And I think that kind of toughness, that along with the Creighton game, definitely helped you against Texas in the Big 12 opener, because it was a very similar kind of finish, 1 point, 2 point game, last 5 minutes, lots of pressure on the road, hostile environment. I mean, say what you think has been the key for Nebraska in the final 5 minutes of close games so far.
Well, we've had great composure, and I think that a lot of that is, Jeff, that we have experience. You know, Kira's played a lot of games, Chelsea's played a lot of games in Husker uniform. Yelena is a player that plays with great composure. I think in game in and game out, day in and day out. We've got Kelsey, who has got the ability to score in a low block situation, and our team has maintained their poise, maintained their composure. The other thing I like about what happened in that Florida game, we saw all zone in that game for the most part, and we scored 81 points against the zone. We've been a team that has seen a lot of man over the course of the year. I thought Texas went zone late in the game against us the last several minutes, and we were able to score against Florida, really throughout the game in their zone. And when Texas went zone, I thought we had a great comfort level there in being able to execute against the zone.
All right. When we come back, we're going to head to Austin, Texas for the Huskers' Big 12 opener with the Longhorns. Stay with us. Nebraska opened Big 12 conference play at Austin, Texas, searching for its school record 8th consecutive road win and first ever road victory against the Longhorns. Texas was coming off a tournament title of its own at the Surf and Slam in San Diego, and All-American Tiffany Jackson had been playing well, very similar to Kira Hardy in her production. And Coach, your team was confident going in, even though you knew you were going to have your hands full against Texas.
Well, Texas is historically, one of the great programs of the Big 12, and Particularly, when you're playing them on their home court, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. But at the same time, our players are playing with a lot of confidence, and we've played a good schedule. And we knew going into Texas that it wouldn't necessarily be easy, but we felt like we could win. And I think it's really important to have those thoughts. And the expectation was to go in there and win, and not hope that we could win, but expect that we would win. And our players, responded to the challenges, and we got down by as much as 11 points in this game and came back and found a way to win. But Kelsey Griffin had a tremendous game. She was 10 for 14 from the field against a variety of post players that she went against. But Tiffany Jackson is an All-American, preseason Big 12 pick. I've been on the All Big 12 team the last couple of years, and Kelsey did a good job of scoring against her. And we did, again, I think our ball movement and player movement is getting better and better. There's an example of TK making a back cut, Ashley Ford delivering the pass. Of course, Kira had the huge game, particularly in the second half. Got in foul trouble in the first half. I liked what we did without Kira on the floor in the first half. Kira picks up 2 fouls, and I sat her for a while, and I had the thought, well, I can put her back in, but we maintained, not necessarily a lead, but we were in the game. It ended up being a 4-point game at halftime, Texas leading, but we were able to sit Kira with the foul trouble and play her big minutes in the second half.
In the first half, Nebraska actually trailed by 5 when Kira Hardy went out with 2 fouls. Texas also had foul trouble. Ernisha Bailey with 3 fouls. She ended up fouling out, and that was big in the second half. Ernisha Williams also had 2 fouls in the first half. But when Kira got going in the second half, she was able to carry your team. She scored 10 straight points at one point, 10 of the last 14 for Nebraska down the stretch, as Nebraska erased a 10-point lead in the second half, trailing 62-52, got the lead and didn't give it up. And what a great win. Kira Hardy, 27 points, 22 of those in the second half. Kelsey Griffin, 21 points and 7 rebounds. And you just have to like the way your team was tough in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, and the last shot that you saw there on the highlights was probably the biggest shot of the game. We were up 1. Kira hits the 3 out of a zone to put us up 4 with about 1:15 left, and then from there we just needed to make sure that we were going to make some free throws, and we did down the stretch. We made 5 of 6 free throws in the last minute of the game. Yelena hit 2 big free throws. Ashley Ford hit 2 big free throws, and Kira was 1 for 2 at the line in that stretch. And but you got to make free throws in that situation. But our composure was tremendous, and again, experience. Experience does make a difference, and we have a number of players who have been in that situation before, and we are not getting too rattled, and that's you're going to have to do that in the Big 12. There's going to be tight games, and you got to be able to make plays down the stretch.
All right, we've seen the highlights. Now let's hear from the Huskers during this week's Big Red Rewind.
We're gonna win. Don't wanna be a loser, cause winning really is the only thing. Get out of the way, we're coming in. You wanna fight, you step inside the ring. Does anybody wanna take a swing? It's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, we're gonna be the champions. Yeah, we're going all the way, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. Forget about a draw, we're gonna score. And then we're gonna get a few more. Maybe another one to the show.
On top, Obrey has a look. Her three-pointer is good. Chelsea Obrey. Back cut. Ashley Ford puts it up. It's the bottom of the rim. But she's fouled. Goes to the floor hard. And she's fouled by Emily. Now low, Page has it. Works on the 6'7" girl and scores. And she can't hit it. The rebound from Page in big-time traffic. Muscles up, and it counts.
I think we're just coming together. We're gelling. We're more confident with each other. We're more comfortable with each other. And I think it's going to help again when we go into the Big 12 season.
The starters played well. People coming off the bench played real well. I thought it was a real team effort to win this tournament.
We're gonna win.
looks down the lane. No one past the Spirit. That's the pinnacle big play of the game.
It was our first Big 12 game, and it was away from home, and Texas has always been rated, so playing at their place and playing a good quality team, I mean, it was a big win just for us to start out the Big 12 season and also to get a win at Texas.
We played great. I mean, Texas is a great team, and they made their runs, and for us to push back shows a lot of character, and I think it was a really great win for us today.
The tallest player on the Husker roster and a Nebraska native, Nikki Bober has contributed early inside for the Huskers as a true freshman. Not only does Bober provide size inside, she has a big heart and a great sense of humor to help her Husker teammates. Let's find out more in this edition of Tip Off.
I'm Nikki Bober, and I play Nebraska women's basketball. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a freshman. We have great upperclassmen, so the transition has been made a lot easier because everybody gets along, and we have great team chemistry, but it's definitely a new experience, and you definitely have to learn a lot of new things like responsibility and time management. It's my home state, and it's the biggest stage in my home state, so I take a lot of pride in playing for that, and we just have a great fan base, and you just can't beat it, I don't think. One of our main goals is to be a Sweet 16 team, so we're working hard for that every day, and we also would like to finish in the top 3 or 4 in the Big 12. I just think that we have great team chemistry, so we're really fun to watch. We try and play hard for the whole 40 minutes, and we try and keep it a fast-paced game too, so it's pretty exciting. I like to do my best every day and to make a positive contribution to the team. I like to keep the mood pretty light and, you know, try and keep everybody smiling, so I think that helps sometimes, especially during long days. When I'm not playing basketball or studying, I like to hang out with my friends, either from the team or from elsewhere, and just go to the mall, go shopping, go to the movies, go out to eat, stuff like that.
Coach, what a great look at Nikki Bober. Now, Nikki has not had a lot of playing time, but she has got on the floor in about 5 games this year. Her contributions on the court are really secondary to what she's been able to provide chemistry-wise for your team in her freshman season. She's been a great teammate.
She absolutely has, Jeff. Each game, or following each game, we give various awards just for something fun, and one of the awards that we give out after each game is the Best Teammate Award, and Nikki has won that by a long shot, by a landslide more than anybody else. And you know, she's somebody who does a great job on the bench. She does a great job in playing her role as a scout team member in some cases. Just very positive. Is fun to be around, as was mentioned. She's just a great person, and she's doing a great job for us.
And she really is doing a good job of learning what you're asking her to do inside as well. And when she's been out there, she's been able to stat and contribute. And I think everybody can look forward to seeing Nikki Bober on the floor a little bit more next season and as her career progresses. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show. We hope to see all of you at the Devaney Center for Nebraska's Big 12 Conference Clash with the Kansas State Wildcats on Wednesday, January 17th at 7:05 p.m. You can follow Nebraska on the road to Kansas on Saturday, January 13th on the Husker Sports Network and on Huskers.com. For Coach Connie York and all of us here at Husker Vision, I'm Jeff Griesch. Thanks for watching. Go Big Red.